Chapter 31 Crazy Accumulation of Funds. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Office of the Chairman of Imperial Group, except for Lin Shouji. Everyone else quickly went out to do their work. When Lin Shouji went to make a cup of coffee herself, Yang Ming took a sip. Yang Ming had withdrawn his eyes from the newspaper and looked out the window. Now this is the 29th floor of the Federal Building, nearly 100 meters high. In the future, this may not be considered very high. In the late S, this was considered very high. Looking out, you can see many things in the central district of Hong Kong. High-rise buildings. When Yang Ming looked back, Yang Ming thought quickly, financial investment, in fact, is apart from current stock investment. There are also investments in futures, funds, foreign exchange, bonds, exchange rates, etc. Especially in terms of futures, in addition to financial futures, there are also commodity futures. The income obtained from futures is really no lower than the income from the stock market. The most important thing is that futures have greater leverage and higher risks. This also means that not everyone can make money in this market. Yang Ming is different. He can know the futures trading situation in advance through newspapers anytime and anywhere, especially whether the futures are long or short before delivery. Now Yang Ming doesn't have that many people, so he will start with the stock market for the time being. 16:30 p.m. Xiangjiang time, 8:30 a.m. local time in London. This means that the London stock market officially begins today. Hailey and Li Yongfeng officially conducted transactions on the London Stock Exchange for Yang Ming for the first time. This is similar to what Yang Ming did at Huifeng Stock Exchange last night. The difference is, now the two of them stay in the company instead of going to the securities company. Now the two of them are in contact with the securities company at any time. The capital they bought was only about £10 million. The capital was not that huge and the risk was lower. Yang Ming stayed in the chairman's office, until 5:30 in the afternoon. Yang Ming did not stay any longer. When Yang Ming was pushed into the Rolls-Royce by bodyguard and driver Chen Zhenhua in a wheelchair, he took the car back to the Repulse Bay Mid-Levels Villa. Back to Repulse Bay Mid-Levels Villa. The time came to around 18:45 in the evening. That means it took more than an hour to get back here. This is relatively fast. If you encounter traffic jams during rush hour, it may be even later. When Yang Ming got off the car, Yang Jirong, Li Yufang, Lin Dezhong, Azu and others all came out to greet him. They thought that Yang Ming might not come back until late at night like he did last night. "Peter, I thought you would come back very late tonight," Li Yufang said with a look of pity. "Mommy, leave the company's affairs to others, and I can naturally come back earlier." It's already dinner time. Yang Ming accompanied his parents, Yang Jirong and his wife, to enjoy a rich dinner in the restaurant. When the three of them finished dinner, Yang Ming, Yang Jirong, and Li Yufang returned to the master room where their parents lived on the second floor. "Daddy, Mommy, are you comfortable here?" "Very comfortable. Compared to the garden community in Zhong district, it is much more comfortable here." "Daddy, Mommy, I came back last night not to tell you that I have a big happy event to tell you." At this point, the two of them really haven't forgotten it. "Peter, what's the happy event you're talking about?" "Daddy, Mommy, if you watched the news today, you should know what happened." Yang Ming took a newspaper and handed it to the two of them to read. The two looked at each other and couldn't believe that the mysterious stock god was actually their son. "The mysterious short-term sniper they talked about is actually you?" "Yes." "Then, did you really make more than $1 billion Hong Kong dollars in one night?" Li Yufang felt like her whole body was shaking. She couldn't believe that her son had made more than $1 billion Hong Kong dollars in one night. Last week, in the Hong Kong stock market, their son made tens of millions of Hong Kong dollars every day, now make more than $1 billion Hong Kong dollars in one night. What is the concept? "Mommy, to be precise, it's not one night, but one day and one night. Because of the time difference between our place in Europe and the United States, it's actually Monday." "You." Yang Jirong and Li Yufang were both shocked and speechless. "Daddy, Mommy, I want to tell you that my money will be more and more. All you have to do is actually stop, rest and enjoy the life of the rich." While Yang Jirong and his wife were still in the master room and didn't know what to say, Yang Ming went outside in a wheelchair. The housekeeper, Lin Dezhong and Zhu have been waiting outside. when Zhu pushed Yang Ming for a walk outside the courtyard of the villa, until around 8 o'clock in the evening. Yang Ming went to wash up and then returned to the study upstairs. Around 10 o'clock in the evening, Hailey called the landline from the company, and the housekeeper Lin Dezhong received it first. "Young Master Yang, this is the call from your subordinate, Miss Hailey. Butler, from now on, just transfer my phone calls to the landline in my study." "Yes, Mr. Yang." Yang Ming picked up the landline phone and soon learned from Hailey that they had made more than £8 million in profit from the London stock market, which amounted to more than 128 million Hong Kong dollars. In just one trading day, they made a profit of more than 1 million on the London Stock Exchange. Hailey and Li Yongfeng were both excited. The two of them knew very well that without the boss's funds and stock trading information, it would be impossible to do it. After hearing this, Yang Ming looked very calm. According to the trading scale of the London Stock Exchange, in his opinion, short-term investment can make a profit of £500 million per stock market trading day, which is almost million Hong Kong dollars, which is considered good. It's not that he doesn't want to make too much, but there aren't that many leaks, and the leaks can't grow that fast. If he keeps cutting the leaks, it will be difficult for him to cut more leaks, of course, like the London Stock Exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, and the Tokyo Stock Exchange. These exchanges are relatively large and can make a lot of profits on the trading day. Like other exchanges around the world, the trading scale is not that large. If you can get 1/10 of the income of these exchanges, or even less, that is considered very good. As the saying goes, a little adds up to a lot. Yang Ming knew that. In fact, he was making a lot of money now. For example, on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, even if you make a profit of 10 million Hong Kong dollars on each trading day, then in a month, even if there are only 20 trading days, you will make a profit of 200 million Hong Kong dollars in 1 month. There are so many exchanges around the world, and if you add them all up, the profits are really huge. After Yang Ming hung up the phone, he knew that after these employees became familiar with this method, his profits in the global financial investment market would be even greater. The purpose of what he did was to obtain more funds. Yang Ming looked out from the study room and found that the moonlight outside was still so bright. He knew that Zhu and housekeeper Lin Dezhong were still outside. "Butler, come in." "Young Master Yang, what's the matter?" "Bring all the newspapers, especially those related to financial and stock market reports. I am also very interested in news about the stock markets of Bay, Toyo, and even other European countries. If you don't have them, you can subscribe to the newspaper company." "Yes, Mr. Yang." "Please read it." Chapter 32 The Empire Group expands. Internally recommended second batch of staff. Page 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Linda Bell goes out, Yang Ming read the newspaper there. He knew that the London stock market ended and the US stock market would soon begin again. Yang Ming no longer needs to care about the situation of the US stock market today. His goal has been set to tomorrow: Hong Kong stock market, London stock market, New York stock market, Tokyo stock market, Bay stock market, Singapore stock market, and many more. Now that he saw the reports on local and other local stocks in Xiangjiang in these newspapers, he could tell at a glance which stock would rise when the stock market traded tomorrow, or how many points it would rise. Yang Ming took a pen and paper, sat in front of the wheelchair on the desk, and recorded it. Unconsciously, time passed quietly. There was a knock on the door. "Come in." "Peter, Mommy just asked the kitchen to make chicken soup for you." It was Yang Ming's mother, Li Yufeng, who brought in a bowl of hot chicken soup. Li Yufeng didn't know very well how her son invested in the stock market. Seeing that her son was still studying these newspapers and periodicals so late at night, and that his atrophied muscles had not yet recovered, Li Yufeng felt that his son needed to replenish his muscles. "Mommy, just put it aside. Peter, then finish your drink and go to bed early." Li Yufeng did not disturb her son. When Li Yufeng left, Yang Ming continued to read newspapers and periodicals. After he stretched, he drank the bowl of cold chicken soup. Yang Ming continued to sort out the stock information in the stock market under him. Basically, stocks in Asian, European and American markets can be seen now, but not in the more biased investment newspapers and magazines in Northern Europe. At this time, after knocking on the door, a person quickly walked in again. "It's Zhu." She came to take the bowl to the kitchen. Although Azu is now a maid, she does not have to do many jobs in the villa, and her status is much higher than that of other new maids. Azu, is it hard for you to serve me alone? Master, I'm not working hard. It seems I have to find someone else. Yang Ming didn't know when his muscles would be able to fully recover. It will definitely take some time for him to walk like a normal person. Master, it's me. When Zhu heard Yang Ming say that he wanted to find one more person to serve him, Zhu became a little nervous for some reason. Yang Ming didn't see the same look on her face, so he asked Zhu to push him to the master room. It's very late. I need to rest. However, when I rest normally, I will get up at 6:30 tomorrow morning. Then I can just knock on the door and come in. Yes, master. After Azu left, Yang Ming lay on the bed to rest. Early the next day, Yang Ming saw the sunlight coming in from the window. Just when he woke up, Zhu had already knocked on the door and came in. Master, it's time to get up. After Azu helped him wash his face and change clothes, Azu pushed him to take the elevator down from upstairs and bask in the sun in the courtyard of the villa and breathe the fresh air outside. This is different from being in the garden community, that is, if it is not raining, you can bask in the sun at any time, and the air here is better. Wait until 7:30 in the morning. Yang Ming had breakfast with his parents, Xiangjiang and Li Yufeng, 8 am, after Yang Ming finished breakfast and said goodbye to his parents. He asked his driver and bodyguard Chen Zhenhua to take him to the federal building. After these 2 days of getting along, Chen Zhenhua found that his boss Yang Ming didn't talk much and was easier to get along with. This aspect made Chen Zhenhua feel relieved. Chen Zhenhua didn't even know whether Yang Ming, who had been sitting in a wheelchair, could recover and walk on his own. When Chen Zhenhua drove to the underground parking garage of the federal building, take out the wheelchair first, help Yang Ming get on the wheelchair, and then take the elevator up to the 29th floor. Yang Ming just came over. Now, except for Hunter and Wang Shan in the company, they went back to rest very late last night because of trading in US stocks, and they have not come to work today. Last night, he first made a profit of £8 million on the London stock market, and another $30 million on the US stock market. Although he made a profit on the US stock market, it was much worse than Yang Ming's profit on the US stock market that night. In one night, I made a profit of nearly 160 million Hong Kong dollars on the US stock market. This is absolutely crazy. That is, starting from today, now everyone in the company is full of admiration for the boss Yang Ming and feels that the boss is mysterious. They are full of confidence in the future of the Imperial Group and themselves. Good morning, boss. Chen Zhenhua pushed Yang Ming over, and Lin Xiaoji and others came over to say hello. When Yang Ming came to the conference room, Yang Ming said, "Today, different people continue to be responsible for the stock markets in different places. Jason is in charge of the Hong Kong stock market." When Jason heard this, he stood up quickly and excitedly. Alva is in charge of the London stock market. Soon, Alva also stood up excitedly. Andy runs the New York stock market. Arnold is in charge of the Tokyo stock market. Badwi is in charge of the Wanwan stock market and the Korean stock market. Bud is in charge of the Singapore stock market. Keira is in charge of the Swiss stock market. Haley is in charge of the Frankfurt stock market. Li Yongfeng is in charge of the Paris stock market. Su Qingfeng is in charge of the Australian stock market. In addition to these countries and regions, some countries such as Northern Europe and America also have listed companies. Yang Ming has not seen their stock newspapers and periodicals for the time being. Among these people, except for his secretary Lin Xiaoji, the financial director Tang Shilian is fine for the time being. The Hong Kong stock market, Tokyo stock market, Wanwan stock market, Korea stock market, and Singapore stock market are almost open for business. When Yang Ming returned to his chairman's office, these people followed and quickly got the stock information slips that Yang Ming had prepared for them in advance. It has information about the stocks that these people are responsible for buying and selling respectively. Jason got the stock information slip from the Xiangjiang stock market. Arnold got the stock information slip from the Tokyo stock market. Budway got the stock information slips from Wanwan and Korea. When these people get those stocks, they immediately go back to work. Yesterday, They had followed Yang Ming's instructions and started opening foreign stock trading accounts. At a securities company in Xiangjiang, when company funds entered these stock trading accounts, they began to buy these stocks according to the stock information provided by Yang Ming. At this time, Yang Ming and Lin Shouji were left in the office. Lin Shouji was pouring a cup of coffee for Yang Ming. Lin Shouji, it seems that our company is still short of people. Chapter 33 Hire a New Maid. You are listening at novelfull.audio. During lunch, the company employees, including Hunter and Haley, learned that each of them would have 20 recommendations to join the Empire Group. Not everyone can recommend it. Work ethics and character come first. Also, it is best for them to have a background in finance and financial accounting, except for Lin Shouji and Tang Shilian who already knew about it in advance. The other 13 people were very excited when they heard it. Each of them starts with a monthly salary of 10,000 yuan, and of course it will be higher when they add other benefits. The most important thing is that recommending candidates to them now means that they can recommend capable classmates, friends, and even relatives to join the Empire Group. The boss Yang Ming also said that if something goes wrong with the recommended candidate, the recommended person will also be responsible, which means that they have to be very cautious. They are not fools. For them, this is not only a benefit, but also a test. When Yang Ming finished lunch, he returned to the office. Lin Shouji, what do you think about the second batch of staff being recommended internally? Boss, it's good or bad? In my opinion, I'm afraid I can only recommend 3 or 4 people. I can't guarantee more people. Yang Ming didn't think about that anymore. Always in the chairman's office, 5:30 in the afternoon, Yang Ming can get off work, and those in charge of Asian stock markets can also get off work. Yang Ming ignored whether they worked overtime or not. When Chen Zhenhua pushed Yang Ming to the car, he left here and went back to the Repulse Bay mid-levels villa. While on the road, Yang Ming looked out the window from time to time. When he stopped at a traffic light, Yang Ming said, Chen Zhenhua, if you have suitable candidates, you can also recommend them. Boss, who do you recommend? A bodyguard like you. It turns out to be this. In this regard, he certainly has recommendations. Now the monthly salary given by Lin Dezhong is 3,000 yuan. This salary is not low. It is at least more stable than those who work as ordinary coolies. Food and accommodation are included, which is quite a lot for 1 month. If you want to recommend other bodyguards, he certainly has many. Boss, how many more people are you going to hire? 10 or 8 won't be a problem for the time being. Thank you, boss. Chen Zhenhua quickly thanked Yang Ming. For them, some security companies in Hong Kong are recruiting, and the salary is too low. If it is hard work, the salary is not only low, but also very hard. Chen Zhenhua knew that only by working with a boss like Yang Ming would he have a bright future. When Yang Ming took the car back to the mid-level villa in Repulse Bay, Yang Ming got out of the car. Lin Dezhong and Zhu had already gotten out of the car. Young Master Yang. Lin Dezhong and Zhu came to say hello respectively. Young Master Yang, according to what you said, I have ordered a lot of newspapers and periodicals in this field, but some of them are foreign language newspapers and periodicals. Foreign languages are no problem. Zhu pushed Yang Ming inside, and Yang Ming greeted Yang Jirong and Li Yufang. Go have dinner first. After Yang Ming finished dinner, Li Yufang looked at Yang Ming and said with a smile, Peter, I heard Azu say that you want to find another maid to take care of you. Mommy, that's what I thought. Then I'll ask Butler Lin to find it for you. Li Yufang also smiled. Yang Ming said, Mommy, actually I have already chosen someone. Li Yufang still felt strange. Yang Ming first blew the wind in the yard. Half an hour later, it was cold outside, and Yang Ming took the elevator upstairs. After Zhu helped Yang Ming take a bath and changed into casual clothes, he returned to the study. Lin Dezhong found other newspapers and periodicals for him. To Yang Ming's surprise, these were all foreign language newspapers and periodicals. Nowadays, as the main exchange center between the East and the West, Xiangjiang is a mixed bag. There may be hundreds or even thousands of local newspapers in Xiangjiang alone. There are even many small newspapers and periodicals, perhaps thousands of them in total. As for other foreign language editions, because there are many foreigners in Xiangjiang, especially white people who work in Xiangjiang, there are now many English editions of newspapers and periodicals in Xiangjiang. Lin Dezhong was also worried that Yang Ming could not understand these foreign language newspapers and periodicals. In his previous life, Yang Ming was engaged in arms, smuggling, and money laundering business. Those more than 10 years were not in vain. He traveled almost all over the world. In addition to speaking English very well, he also understood some indigenous languages in Africa, not to mention speak common European and American languages. Master Yang, do you want me to find a translator for you? Not needed for now. Yang Ming could understand it himself, so why did he need a translator? Mr. Yang, I heard Madam mention to Azu that you want to find another maid, that he found more than a dozen servants for Yang Ming. Most of these servants did other jobs, and Zhu was the only one who really took care of Yang Ming. Lin Dezhong still doesn't know much about Yang Ming, and he doesn't know what kind of person he is. Not bad. I already have someone chosen. Boss, tell me. Yang Ming already knew who he was looking for in advance, so of course it was better not to be enough. When Yang Ming mentioned this person, Lin Dezhong naturally didn't recognize him. Lin Dezhong didn't expect that this person actually lived in Kowloon. He was even more curious about when the boss knew him. Young Master Yang, should I go find her in person? Yes, if she doesn't want to, there's no need to force it. Young Master Yang, don't worry, I will definitely handle this matter. If it was before, working here at the Hatton couple's villa, basically every day would be the same. Although Lin Dezhong would not be dawdling, life would be like that. Now when working in Yang Ming's hands, he found that it was really different. In addition to more and more servants, there were also a lot of management expenses, which made Lin Dezhong naturally different from before. When Lin Dezhong left, Yang Ming began to read the newspapers and periodicals in the study room, just like yesterday, taking notes while reading. By 11 o'clock in the evening, Yang Ming yawned. When he saw that he had sorted out the stock information strips and put them in the drawer, he was ready to go back and rest. There was another knock on the door. When Yang Ming came in, he found that it was Zhu. Zhu came in with a bowl of chicken soup. This must be the chicken soup that Mother Li Yufang asked the kitchen to prepare. When Yang Ming finished drinking, he returned to the master room in a wheelchair to rest, have a night's rest. Early the next day, when Yang Ming and his parents finished breakfast, Yang Ming and Xiangjiang took a car back to the Empire Group in the Federal Building. When Yang Ming took the elevator up to the 29th floor, he found that in addition to Lin Xiuji's 15 staff members, there seemed to be some more young people here today, and they should be the second batch of candidates recommended by these people. Yang Ming went to the conference room. In the conference room, let's hold a meeting first. In addition, for the second batch of new employees, whoever recommends them will be taken first for the time being. As for the rest, it's still the same as yesterday. Yang Ming handed the stock information slips to others one by one. Please collect it. Please read it. Chapter 34. 8-year-old Zhong Chuhong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tsim Sha Sui, Kowloon, Hong Kong, Chungking Tower. When Yang Ming just took the car back to work at the Imperial Group, Lin Dezhong drove here himself. Tsim Sha Sui, Kowloon is very famous. Chungking Mansions is also well known in Hong Kong. However, before this, Lin Dezhong rarely came here. Chungking Mansions has been built for more than 10 years. Judging from the appearance, it is actually not that shabby now. This is why this building is so famous. The main reason is that there is a mixture of good and bad people here. Fires often occur, and some murders make the news. Even so, this is a very cheap place to live at the bottom of Xiangjiang. Lin Dezhong parked his car nearby, and based on the information provided by Mr. Yang, he dressed and went to the first floor of Chungking Tower. The only information provided by the boss is the address and name. Is it really here? Lin Dezhong didn't know either. When he entered the first floor of Chungking Mansions, he saw that the somewhat dim first floor was filled with densely packed shops and people. No wonder fires often occur here. In fact, it can be seen from the environment here. Many people, there are many locals from Xiangjiang, white people, other South Asians, and even black people. There are a lot of shops here, including quite a few women's clothing stores. Lin Dezhong can ask house by house, came to a clothing store belonging to the famous Zhongji. Lin Dezhong saw this small and dim clothing store, where a middle-aged couple was busy greeting customers. When he saw Lin Dezhong, the middle-aged woman asked, "Sir, which set of clothes are you interested in?" "Here at Chungking Mansion, we the clothes are the cheapest, of the best quality, and have the best reputation." While the middle-aged woman was selling there, Lin Dezhong looked at the place curiously. Basically, in addition to mainly women's clothing, there are also some children's clothing and some clothing for the elderly. These clothes look relatively cheap at first glance. Rich people will definitely not come to this kind of place to spend money. "Hello, are you Zhong Chuhong's mother?" Lin Dezhong asked. "Who are you?" Mother Zhong asked warily. Many people around here know Zhong Chuhong. She didn't know why the middle-aged man in front of her came to see her daughter. "Hello, my name is Lin Dezhong, and I am the housekeeper of the Yang family in the mid-level villa in Repulse Bay." Repulse Bay mid-level villa? That's what a rich man's butler is. What does this have to do with ordinary lower-class people like them? "Can I go in and talk?" Lin Dezhong asked. Seeing that Lin Dezhong didn't look like a bad guy, Zhong Chuhong's parents were still a little wary. After all, they are businessmen, and many people have seen Lin Dezhong enter the small shop. Apart from the unpleasant smell of new chemical-laden clothes here, if it weren't for the boss Yang Ming, he really wouldn't want to stay here. "Mr. Zhong, Mrs. Zhong, it's like this. I know you have a daughter named Zhong Chuhong. Now our Yang family wants to recruit a servant to take care of the boss. The salary and benefits are very good. Recruiting maids?" Mr. Zhong and his wife were surprised. There are 6 members of the Zhong family. In addition to Zhong Chuhong as the eldest sister, there are 2 younger sisters and a younger brother. Mr. Zhong and his wife can only rely on this clothing store to support their family of 6, which is quite difficult in Xiangjiang. As a result, Zhong Chuhong has been working for her parents in a clothing store since she was 11 years old. When she was a little older, like a boy, she would work while studying to supplement the family income. Nowadays, the conditions of the Zhong family are becoming more and more difficult. In addition to Zhong Chuhong, who can go to work, the other 3 children in the family also have to study. Apart from relying on this clothing store, the Zhong family usually doesn't make much money, so Zhong Chuhong usually goes out to work part-time, which can subsidize the family and reduce a lot of the family's burden. Zhong Chuhong's parents were worried about meeting some bad people. When they heard that Lin Dezhong came to find their daughter as a servant, they were naturally repulsed. "Mr. Zhong, Mrs. Zhong, our young Master Yang is engaged in big business. However, because he woke up from a serious illness before, he happened to need a maid to take care of him. Mr. Lin, there are so many people in Xiangjiang, why are they looking for my daughter?" Mrs. Zhong asked still warily. "Yes. There are so many people in Xiangjiang, why are they looking for their daughter?" Lin Dezhong himself couldn't figure it out. If Mr. Yang hadn't recommended him, Lin Dezhong would have definitely found someone else. With such a good opportunity, others would be eager to find him. When Lin Dezhong was having a good talk with Mr. Zhong and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Zhong just disagreed. "Mr. Zhong, Mrs. Zhong, don't think that anyone in Xiangjiang can work in the Yang family. Others can only dream of such a good job, so forget it if you don't cherish it." Lin Dezhong did not continue the conversation. Since the boss has said it, if they don't agree, of course they won't force it. When Lin Dezhong was about to leave, a young woman in ordinary clothes walked in from outside. "Dad, Mom, I want to give it a try." The person who came in was none other than Zhong Chuhong. She just heard her parents and Lin Dezhong talking. Although Zhong Chuhong didn't know what the Yang family was like, and who young Master Yang was, those who could live in the mid-levels villa were basically wealthy people in Xiangjiang. "Chuhong, why are you back?" Zhong's mother still pulled Zhong Chuhong aside cautiously. Lin Dezhong saw it, and it turned out that this was the maid the boss was looking for. At this time, Zhong Chuhong was just 18 years old, in the prime of his youth. Now Zhong Chuhong is dressed in ordinary clothes, without any makeup, and is very plainly dressed. At first glance, he is just a very ordinary young man from the bottom of Hong Kong. After taking a second look, you can still see that the other party is a beauty. In the past, Zhong Chuhong has always been a tomboy. With her short hair, she could not tell that she was a beauty. In the past 2 years, the mother felt more and more that her daughter was good-looking. Coupled with reminders and compliments from other neighbors from time to time, Mother Zhong felt that her daughter was really a beauty. "Mom, that jewelry store thinks that I work too slowly and have low education, so they don't want me anymore." Zhong Chuhong is still very efficient at work, but she has low education. Although she has some sales experience, it is becoming more and more difficult to find a job in Xiangjiang. Multiple people, in addition to immigrants smuggled from China, there are also immigrants smuggled from Southeast Asia. Jobs are not increasing so much that competition is getting fiercer. Those who have just immigrated to Hong Kong have lower requirements and lower salaries. Naturally, locals like Zhong Chuhong have no competitive advantage, so much so that when Zhong Chuhong was working as a salesperson in that jewelry store, her position was directly replaced by someone else. She had no choice but to be fired and find another job. Zhong Chuhong first came back to her parents' clothing store to help, and waited for a suitable job before doing so. Unexpectedly, she happened to meet Lin Dezhong coming to see her parents. Please read it. Please collect it. Chapter 35. Zhong Chuhong steps into the Yang family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are many jewelry stores in Xiangjiang, and competition is fierce. For example, the jewelry store where Zhong Chuhong works has a very low base salary, and all other income depends on sales commissions. However, things like jewelry sales are not that easy to do. In addition to knowing a lot about jewelry, you also need to be good at speaking. Zhong Chuhong has been working in a clothing store for her parents since she was a child. She has a lot of sales experience, but she is not the kind of girl who is very talkative, so much so that a new saleswoman has now taken her job. In addition, Zhong Chuhong already knew that the newcomer was actually a relative of a director of the jewelry store. Mother Zhong thought her daughter was doing well in the jewelry store, but unexpectedly, she was fired. "Mom, I want to follow Mr. Lin to visit Yang's house." Chuhong, even if what Mr. Lin said is true, that wealthy family has many rules. "I'm afraid you might cause other troubles." "Mrs. Zhong, don't worry about this. Our young master Yang treats his servants very well," Lin Dezhong said. At this point, he found that Yang Jirong and his wife, and even Yang Ming, were more generous than the Hatton family and did not speak harshly to their servants. "If Mr. Zhong and his wife are worried and Miss Zhong Chuhong feels it is inappropriate to work with us, she can come back at any time," Lin Dezhong said again. At this time, Mother Zhong was a little moved. After all, as a family, they usually have to rely on their daughter to work to provide subsidies, so that they can feel more relaxed. If the daughter does not go to work, it is equivalent to one less person working, one less income, and one more expense. The Zhong family will be even more stressed. Now is such a good opportunity. As Lin Dezhong said, he also wants to introduce it to his relatives. "Mom, don't worry, I'll go to Yang's house to have a look. If it doesn't suit me, I'll come back. Then I'll ask Dad to accompany you," Mother Zhong said again. "Mom, how can I have my family accompany my children to work? That the public security in Xiangjiang is not good, and Zhong Chuhong believes that it may not be this bad. What's more, she has been living in Chungking Mansion since she was a child. There is a mixture of good and bad people here. She has never seen anything. She can protect herself even if something happens." Lin Dezhong is somewhat optimistic about Miss Zhong Chuhong. If it was Mrs. Zhong's attitude just now, he really wanted to leave directly. When Lin Dezhong left the landline number of Yang's villa to Zhong Chuhong's parents, he and Zhong Chuhong left here. "Get outside, get on the car driven by Linda Bell." While in the car, Zhong Chuhong asked curiously, "Steward Lin, how did you know I was here? How did you find me here?" "This is what Mr. Yang asked me to do. As for why Mr. Yang knows you, you can ask him when you see him." Zhong Chuhong was surprised. She didn't expect that such a rich man would actually know her. It made her really curious. When Zhong Chuhong left here by car, along the way, Lin Dezhong didn't say anything. Since Zhong Chuhong is willing to follow Yang's family's Repulse Bay Mid-Levels villa, he knows that his mission has been completed. It took more than 2 hours to leave Tsim Sha Sui in Kowloon and return to the Repulse Bay Mid-Levels villa. When Linda Chung parked his car and came down, Zhong Chuhong got off the car and saw a mansion located in the middle of the mountain. Zhong Chuhong had only seen those mid-mountain villas on TV and newspapers before, but now that she saw them with her own eyes, she was still a little shocked. After all, she had worked in a jewelry store for a while and had some experience. "I'll take you to meet young Master Yang's mother, Mrs. Yang first." Lin Dezhong took Zhong Chuhong to the first floor and soon met Li Yufang. "The Hong Kong stock market ended and I made 900 million Hong Kong dollars, the Tokyo stock market ended with a profit of 20 billion yen. According to the exchange rate, it was almost 1,000 million US dollars. At this time, the scale of Tokyo stock market trading was actually much higher than that of Hong Kong. The reason why Xiangjiang has become the third largest financial city in the world is not because of the stock market, but because of the overall financial strength. At this point, the Tokyo stock market is much stronger than the Hong Kong stock market. In addition, there are certain gains in the Singapore stock market, Bay stock market, and the Australian stock market. 5:30 in the afternoon, Yang Ming had no intention of staying. When Chen Zhenhua pushed Yang Ming away in the wheelchair, the employees of the Imperial Group who were still at work looked at their boss with even more awe. If they first met Yang Ming, they just regarded Yang Ming as a rich second generation, or they simply learned about the boss from Keira. From the past 2 days, they knew that the boss was not only young and mysterious, but also more and more difficult for them to see through. Even though the boss is in a wheelchair, they really don't dare to look down upon him anymore. Chen Zhenhua and Yang Ming got into the car. "Leave here in a Rolls-Royce." While in the car, Chen Zhenhua said, "Boss, I contacted several comrades, and they all want to work for the Yang family. Okay, bring it to meet me tonight." Yang Ming knew that Chen Zhenhua himself was from Nanyang. As for his comrades, of course they were also from Nanyang. As for what they did before, Yang Ming could guess it as soon as he looked at Chen Zhenhua. When Chen Zhenhua drove back to the mid-level villa in Repulse Bay, Zhong Chuhong, who has been here for a few hours, is initially familiar with this place. In addition to Lin Dezhong, the housekeeper, she also knows Li Yufang, the boss's mother, and the maid Azu from Nanyang. Li Yufang learned that Zhong Chuhong was actually the new maid that her son asked butler Lin to find. At first, she was a little surprised to see Zhong Chuhong, considering that his son is still young. Even if he is looking for a maid, of course he will look for someone who is young and beautiful, which is normal. For example, the maids Lin Dezhong has hired now are all in their 30s or 40s. It is normal that his son Yang Ming doesn't like them. Zhong Chuhong has learned that being a maid in the Yang family is not what she imagined. If the work is to be said to be easy, it should be relatively easy, and the income is much higher than that of her previous job. Like here, in addition to the basic salary of 3,000 Hong Kong dollars, food and accommodation are also included. This was a high-income salary that she could not believe before. Li Yufang told Lin Dezhong that whether she could stay or not would depend on Yang Ming's attitude. In addition to having a phone call with Mama Zhong in Chungking Mansion to reassure Mama Zhong, Zhong Chuhong also had a rich lunch at Yang's house, and she and Aizhu waited for the return of their boss, Mr. Yang. I don't know why, but Zhong Chuhong is a little nervous now, worried that Yang Ming will not want her as a maid. She also felt that if she was not wanted, why should butler Lin find her in person? "Chuhong, our young master will be back soon." Looking at the time, Aza knew that if Yang Ming didn't work overtime at the company, he would be back soon. When the door of the villa was opened, a white Rolls-Royce drove in. "Chuhong, the young master is back. Please read it. Please collect it." Chapter 36 Home Secretary. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before seeing Yang Ming with her own eyes, Zhong Chuhong didn't know what kind of person Yang Ming was. When housekeepers Lin Dezhong, Li Yufang, Azu, and Zhong Chuhong passed by, they saw a young man sitting in a Rolls-Royce. When Chen Zhenhua took off the wheelchair and helped Yang Ming get on the wheelchair, Zhong Chuhong finally saw the young man clearly. Yang Ming looked not much older than her, black jacket, white fashionable pants, and a face that can be remembered at a glance. "Mommy." Yang Ming didn't notice Zhong Chuhong at first. "Peter, this is the new servant you asked the butler to find for you." "New servant?" "Young Master Yang, this is Zhong Chuhong." Lin Dezhong said. Yang Ming finally saw clearly a young woman dressed simply and wearing a pair of ordinary flat shoes. Although Yang Ming was familiar with Hong Kong actresses in his previous life, by his time, these actresses were actually quite old. For example, Zhong Chuhong also became famous in Hong Kong in the 1980s. At that time, Zhong Chuhong had long wavy hair, wore a very fashionable skirt, and could be noticed in the crowd at a glance by the eyes he showed inadvertently. Yang, Mr. Yang, hello. Zhong Chuhong stood up and said hello. When she saw the young rich man Yang Ming for the first time, she could feel that Yang Ming was different, as if he didn't dare to look at him. Yang Ming nodded. Azu pushed Yang Ming in a wheelchair to leave here. After arriving in the living room on the first floor, Yang Ming first greeted his father Xiangjiang. By dinner time, come to the restaurant. Zhu brought a basin of warm water for Yang Ming to wash his face and hands. As for the luxury of the villa, Zhong Chuhong was already shocked at the end of the day. When Yang Ming, Xiangjiang and his wife sat down to eat in the restaurant, butler Lin and Azu could only watch from the sidelines. Until Yang Ming and others finished dinner, it was the servants' turn to have dinner in the villa. Yang Ming went upstairs first in a wheelchair. Zhong Chuhong, who is just 18 years old now, is already a beauty. Otherwise, she would not have won the 4th place in the Miss Xiangjiang competition. Yang Ming sat in the wheelchair in the study and looked out the window. Hear footsteps outside. Yang Ming guessed it belonged to Zhu. Master, Chuhong and I have come in. Last night, when Azu learned that Yang Ming was looking for another maid to take care of him, Azu was still a little unhappy. However, Zhu also understands that the new maid can actually share a lot of her work. Now Zhong Chuhong is studying with Zhu. She originally thought that a wealthy family would have many rules for her to be afraid of and learn. Soon, she found that it was not what she imagined. Yang Ming did not turn around. When Azu and Zhong Chuhong came behind Yang Ming turned around and looked at Zhong Chuhong, who was 18 years old and just the age of a flower. He found that the other person's face was actually a little blushing and he did not dare to look at Yang anymore. Ming quickly lowered his head. Zhong Chuhong wanted to ask, how did Yang Ming know about her existence? But how could she ask now? Azu, have you read a book? Yang Ming asked. Master, I didn't read many books in Nanyang. However, I can write my own name and do simple abacus. In this era, there are many illiterates even in China, let alone the Chinese in Southeast Asia. Zhu lives in Nanyang and is just an ordinary Chinese family. He has not read many books, which is normal. Zhong Chuhong, how many books have you read? Mr. Yang, I haven't finished middle school. The old middle school system in Xiangjiang follows the education system of country Y. It takes 7 years to study in middle school before entering a 3-year university. Form 7, or the 7th grade of secondary school, is the last year of the old system of Longcang Middle School. Zhong Chuhong had just entered middle school, and her family's financial situation did not allow her to continue her studies. There was not enough money. In addition, because she was studying and working part-time to support her family, it was impossible to concentrate on her studies. She started to work many jobs when she was still a child laborer. In this era, even in the 1980s, there were many child laborers under the age of 16 in Hong Kong. Do you know how to read and write? Young Master Yang, I will. When she was just 11 years old, she worked as a helper in her father's clothing store, assisting her father in managing the clothing accounts. At this point, she still understands ordinary finances. She later became so famous in movies and TV shows. If she really didn't know how to read and write, she wouldn't be so famous. Yang Ming had long discovered that Zhu could do ordinary caring work. Azu is of course very good at taking care of him, such as taking a bath, washing his face and changing clothes. There are also things like picking up newspapers and making coffee. Zhu also knows how to do it. Ask her to do some clerical work, but Azu really can't do it. Everyone has their own abilities and strengths. Yang Ming has a preliminary understanding of Zhong Chuhong now. The two women didn't know why Yang Ming was asking these questions. When Zhu knew that it was time to help Yang Ming take a bath, Zhu went to the bathroom to prepare warm water for washing. Zhong Chuhong felt a little embarrassed when she thought about helping Yang Ming take a bath like that. Who would have thought that there was no need for her at all? When Zhu quickly filled the water for Yang Ming entered the bathtub and soaked in warm water alone. For Yang Ming's atrophied muscles, bathing in warm water for a long time will have a certain recovery effect. Moreover, Yang Ming found that under the influence of nutrition, his body recovered well. After taking a bath for the first time, a lot of them fell off automatically. When Yang Ming finished taking a shower, Zhu quickly put on new clothes for Yang Ming and pushed Yang Ming out. Zhong Chuhong, who was standing outside and waiting, felt that Yang Ming was good everywhere, but he was in a wheelchair, which was very bad. After Yang Ming came out, he returned to the study. Azu and Zhong Chuhong stood outside. Azu, bring today's newspaper. Azu and Zhong Chuhong went to get all the newspapers that Lin Dezhong subscribed to. What Zhong Chuhong didn't expect was that Yang Ming actually wanted to read so many newspapers. Zhong Chuhong also saw urban newspapers and periodicals in his father's clothing store. Basically, he read serialized martial arts novels and gossip news. Yang Ming was sitting there, and Zhu went to bring Yang Ming a glass of water first. Can you write? Yang Ming asked again. Mr. Yang, I will. Yang Ming's own traditional Chinese characters are not good at writing. He inherited this body, but he was still used to writing simplified Chinese characters in his previous life. Now that Zhong Chuhong is here, it would be best if he can write. Write down what I say and write it down next to you. Mr. Yang, me. What's up? I'm afraid of making mistakes. Yang Ming didn't say anything, asked Zhu to give the paper and pen to Zhong Chuhong next to her. Zhong Chuhong took it over, and Yang Ming first took it over to read the newspapers and periodicals about the Xiangjiang stock market, and asked the other party to write down the relevant stocks. In addition to stocks, also write down the stock code. In this case, if you remember the stock name incorrectly, it is definitely impossible to write the code incorrectly. Even if both are written incorrectly, others will find out upon checking that it is definitely not the stock. Zhong Chuhong was remembering from the side, when Zhu brought a glass of water to Yang Ming and saw Zhong Chuhong writing notes beside him. She was really a little envious, as Zhu knew very well that he did not read much, and he was most afraid of writing. Starting from 9 o'clock in the evening until about 11 o'clock in the evening, Zhong Chuhong was recording stock information from around the world: Xiangjiang, Tokyo, Wanwan, Singapore, Australia, London, New York, etc. Zhong Chuhong was curious as to why Mr. Yang asked her to memorize those stocks and codes. Remember it? Mr. Yang, I've finished memorizing it. Zhong Chuhong handed the papers to Yang Ming. Yang Ming took it and looked at it, and found that Zhong Chuhong's traditional Chinese writing was pretty good, at least better than him. The handwriting is pretty good. Okay, you can go and rest first. Zhong Chuhong finally breathed a sigh of relief. When she and Azu left Yang Ming's study and were about to leave, they saw Li Yufang bringing tonic soup. The two women stopped to say hello to Li Yufang. Peter, are you still busy? Mommy, I just finished my work. Yang Ming found that it was really easy to have someone help record the records. Drink the soup first. When Li Yufang personally fed Yang Ming the tonic soup, she asked with a smile, "How is your new maid?" "Fortunately, she can write and take notes. She took down a lot of things for me tonight." At this point, Azu can't do it. However, if you are looking for someone who is young, beautiful, and can write and take notes, I think you can find a female college student. That Zhong Chuhong, I heard that she has not finished middle school. Will she? Does it affect your work? Mommy, all I need is that I can write. It's too smart. Yang Ming really doesn't want it. Also, the key is, are those female college students as beautiful as Zhong Chuhong? Ask for collection. Chapter 37, Sneak Attack on 9 Longcang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Yufang personally fed Yang Ming to finish the bowl of nutritious soup and asked Yang Ming to rest early, and she went out first. Azu and Zhong Chuhong were still outside the door, when Li Yufang gave the bowl to Zhu. After Azu left with the bowl, Yang Ming sat in his wheelchair and looked out the window. It's quiet at night. Yang Ming knew that it had been half a month since he came to this world. There was a knock on the door. Please come in. Yang Ming saw Lin Dezhong and Qin Zhenhua. Boss, Zhenhua said that the comrade he introduced is here. Yang Ming has not forgotten. He said he would meet them tonight and he would definitely meet them tonight. When Yang Ming asked the people introduced by Qin Zhenhua to come over, Yang Ming saw 8 men about the same age as Qin Zhenhua. These people look similar to them. There are many Chinese in Nanyang, some of whom have immigrated to Nanyang for a long time. Because they did not marry the local indigenous people, but married the descendants of domestic immigrants, their skin color is not as dark as the local indigenous people. For example, Zhu is a Chinese born in Nanyang, and his skin is quite good. Boss, these are my former comrades. They have received professional security training, are familiar with the use of various firearms, and know how to fight in close quarters. Chen Zhenhua introduced beside him. Yang Ming took one look at these people's hands and he knew it. Since you were introduced by Chen Zhenhua, I believe in your professional ethics and abilities. From now on, you will be Chen Zhenhua's subordinates, and Chen Zhenhua will temporarily serve as the captain of the Yang family's bodyguards. Yes, boss. Lin Dezhong has already discussed salary and benefits with them, so there is no problem. When Chen Zhenhua and his new bodyguards left first, Lin Dezhong was still here. Butler, push me back to rest. Ah Zhu and Zhong Chuhong sleep in the same room. The two girls went back to take a shower, and Zhong Chuhong wore a new dress given to her by Ah Zhu. From this look, it was really different. When Zhong Chuhong stood in front of the mirror and looked at herself, Azu came over and said with a smile, Chuhong, the young master is really good at choosing people. No wonder the young master will find you to be his new servant. At first, Ah Zhu was worried that the new maid would be difficult to talk to, only then did she realize that although Zhong Chuhong was born and raised in Xiangjiang, she was also from an ordinary lower-class background and did not look down upon her for being from Nanyang. When the two women returned to the bed to chat, Azu asked, Chuhong, what do you think of the young master? How is it? Everything is fine there, except that he needs to use a wheelchair at such a young age. Zhong Chuhong muttered. Early the next day, as soon as Ah Zhu woke up, Zhong Chuhong woke up right after. After she followed Ah Zhu, she got up to wash up, put on clothes, and then came to Yang Ming's master room. Ah Zhu knocked on the door and went in, helped Yang Ming wash his face, changed clothes, and pushed Yang Ming out of the room in a wheelchair, then bask in the sun in the villa yard, until 7 a.m. Yang Ming and Yang Zhirong sat down to have breakfast. After breakfast, Yang Ming was escorted to the federal building by Chen Zhenhua and two new bodyguards, Li Zhenshuan and Zhang Baohua. As usual, now Li Zhenshuan and Zhang Baohua each drove a BMW car behind them. Yang Ming came to the Empire Group on the 29th floor of the federal building, just got off the elevator. Lin Xiaoji had already come out to greet him. In the past 2 days, through the internal recommendations of these 15 employees, the company now has hundreds of additional employees. Yang Ming has read the information of all these employees, and they are working with these 15 people for the time being. Like the two people recommended by Lin Xiaoji, one was a female colleague who used to work in that Chinese bank, named Lu Jiai, one is her neighbor's daughter, named Wang Tong. Both of them are from financial accounting background and are college graduates. Because Lin Xiaoji is Yang Ming's assistant secretary, now the two women also take this job first. Compared to other staff, newcomers Lu Jiai and Wang Tong are relatively relaxed. After Lin Xiaoji pushed Yang Ming to the chairman's office, Yang Ming looked at Lu Jiai and Wang Tong, and then at Lin Xiaoji. Is there any new staff at Tang Shilian's side? Tang Shilian is from the finance department, but Tang Shilian herself has recommended 5 new staff members, who are also temporarily following Tang Shilian. Boss, Miss Tang herself recommended 5 people, and now they all work with her in the finance department. In that case, you two will work with Lin Xiaoji first. Before 9 a.m., Yang Ming asked Lu Jiai to call Jason, who was in charge of the Xiangjiang stock market. Soon, Lu Jiai went to call Jason over. Boss. Jason came in and greeted Yang Ming. Jason, how many subordinates do you have now? Boss, I now have 5 subordinates. 3 of them were recommended by me to join the Empire Group. The other 2 were recommended by Hunter to the company and are now my subordinates. That's the 5 subordinates. Yes, boss. Well, you are still in charge of the Xiangjiang stock market today. I have another very important matter, which your 5 new subordinates will be responsible for. Hunter didn't know anything important. When Hunter went to call those 5 people over, Yang Ming saw that they were all white people. It's not that Yang Ming doesn't trust white people, after all, he is still very capable in controlling his subordinates and employing people. I have something important entrusted to you today, can you do it? Yang Ming spoke directly in English, and the 5 people understood him clearly. The 5 people looked at each other and nodded hurriedly to express that they could do it. I'll give you a chance, but you can't make any mistakes in this opportunity, do you understand? Yes, boss. Hunter, how much does Wharf stock cost now? Boss, the current share price of Wharf is about 11 Hong Kong dollars per share. 0.11 Hong Kong dollars per share. This is pretty much what Yang Ming expected. These days, he has been watching the major stock markets in Hong Kong, and he has already noticed this stock company, except Wharf and Hutchison Whampoa. How much does one share of Hutchison International cost? Boss, Hutchison International shares are priced at 9 Hong Kong dollars per share. Hunter said, Yang Ming knows that neither Hutchison Whampoa nor Wharf has been favored by others yet, especially that Li Jiaqing. However, Yang Ming guessed that Li Jiaqing targeted Wharf at the end of last year. At this time, Li Jiaqing had already secretly asked people to quietly buy Wharf stocks, but he probably didn't buy much. Remember, the 5 of you, register better stock market accounts respectively, and quietly buy stocks in Hutchison Whampoa and Wharf. Buy Hutchison Whampoa and Wharf shares. I'm afraid that at this time, except for Yang Ming himself, none of the people present knew what this meant. Remember to quietly diversify your accounts and buy. Yang Ming reminded again. The 5 men left to do the deed quickly. As for Hunter, after receiving the stock information from Yang Ming, he also began to prepare to enter the Xiangjiang stock market. In addition, other responsible persons came to Yang Ming to obtain stock information, and soon entered the Asian and Australian stock markets. Please read it. Please collect it. Chapter 38, Buying a large amount of 9 Longcang stocks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the end of last year, Hong Kong stock market commentators reported that the stock market value of high-quality listed companies like Wharf was far lower than the real market value of Wharf. In addition, as long as you buy 20% of Wharf shares, you can challenge the current largest shareholder of Wharf Land. At the beginning of 1978, when Yang Ming just woke up in the hospital, Li Jiaqing had already asked people to quietly buy Wharf stocks. Judging from the current Wharf stock price, Li Jiaqing has not bought many Wharf stocks. Otherwise, the market should attract the attention of large and small consortiums and investors, and the Wharf stock price will rise instantly. For Yang Ming, he is determined to win Wharf and Hutchison Whampoa. During this period of time, he has been accumulating funds through global stock markets, not just to make moves for the next step. The 5 people began to control the Xiangjiang stock market accounts, entered the Xiangjiang exchange, and began to quietly buy Wharf and Hutchison International stocks respectively. Now that Yang Ming has huge funds and a steady stream of funds, he is not worried at all, whether Li Jiaqing or Bao Yugang, even if they are interested in Wharf stocks, the funds they can use are really not as much as Yang Ming. Morning, Yang Ming always sits in the chairman's office, except for Lin Shoji occasionally making him a cup of coffee. Yang Ming was very quiet reading his newspaper. Until lunchtime, after Yang Ming finished 4 dishes and 1 soup, he went directly back to his chairman's office. 15:00 p.m. The Hong Kong stock market is still an hour away from the closing time. Hunter has ended today's stock market early. Today on the Hong Kong stock market, the profit was nearly 1,800 million Hong Kong dollars, which was the highest profit during this period. Yang Ming already knows that some investors have seen that the transaction volume of the Xiangjiang stock market has been getting higher and higher these days, and naturally more investors have entered, and those 5 employees have been quietly buying shares in Wharf and Hutchison Whampoa. In the morning, I first bought 100 million shares of Wharf, spending more than 1,200 million Hong Kong dollars. I have continued to buy in the afternoon, and I think I bought another 50 shares, spending almost 700 million Hong Kong dollars. The reason why the average stock price is higher is because Wharf stock started to rise. Besides, like Hutchison International, I probably bought 100 million shares in the morning and spent 1,000 Hong Kong dollars million. In the afternoon, I bought another 80 shares, spending almost 900 Hong Kong dollars million. Judging from the current changes in Hutchison International stock price, it has not changed as much as Wharf. Until just before 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the Hong Kong stock market is closed. In the end, I bought 175 million shares of Wharf today, spending almost 2,100 Hong Kong dollars million. Hutchison International bought 195 million shares, spending nearly 2,000 Hong Kong dollars million. Ended at the Hong Kong stock market. Yang Ming called Hunter and the 5 people over. Not a single word of the news about Empire Group's acquisition of Wharf and Hutchison International stocks should be leaked. However, I guess there are people in the market who are quietly buying Wharf's shares like us. As for why no one in Hutchison International buys stocks like Wharf, it is because it is related to Huifeng Bank. In September 1975, Huifeng Bank held 9 million shares of Hutchison International, accounting for approximately 9,000% of the issued shares. Huifeng Bank became the majority shareholder, and Qi Dezun was forced to resign sadly. Huifeng Bank hired Wei Li as chief executive, and Hutchison International entered the Wei Li era. At the end of 1977, Wei Li merged Hutchison International and its main subsidiary Whampoa Dockyard to form Hutchison Whampoa. The 9,000 million shares of Hutchison International held by Huifeng Bank were converted into Hutchison Whampoa ordinary shares, accounting for approximately 22.4% of Hutchison Whampoa ordinary shares. With percent of all issued shares, Whampoa is already the largest shareholder of Hutchison Whampoa. Basically, it is difficult for any consortium to compete with Huifeng Bank. Li Jiaqing and Bao Yugang initially set their sights on Wharf, because Wharf's current share price is very low, and Wharf's largest shareholder Land's shares are not large, only 10%, Hunter and others understand, 17:30 p.m. Young Ming did not stay any longer. Chen Zhenhua left the Imperial Group in a wheelchair, after getting in the car. Yang Ming took the car back to the Repulse Bay mid-level villa, just returned to the villa. Lin Dezhong, Li Yufang, Azu, and Zhong Chuhong all came out to greet him. In fact, it's still the same as last night. Yang Ming came back to rest for a while and then went over to have dinner. After dinner, Yang Ming went back to the third floor because there was still a cool breeze outside. When Zhu went to help Yang Ming take a bath, Yang Ming soaked in the comfortable large bathtub and watched the dead skin on his body gradually falling off, change the water, wash again, and put on new clothes, return to the study. Azu and Zhong Chuhong have already brought today's newspapers. Master, the newspapers are all here. Yang Ming opened the stock market report about Xiangjiang. It was originally about the rise and fall of stock prices today. Now Yang Ming saw that it was about the stock market transactions in Xiangjiang tomorrow, which is also the last day of the week. From the above stock price, Yang Ming noticed. Tomorrow's Wharf price will soar from 12 yuan per share today to 15 yuan per share. However, it may drop to 13 yuan per share during the period. He remembered that in history, it seemed that at the end of March 1978, the share price of Wharf soared to more than 3 yuan per share. That was because many investors in the market already knew that Li Jiaqing wanted to acquire Wharf. There is no news in the market yet, but because Wharf's stock price has begun to fluctuate, it has attracted the attention of more investors. Yang Ming found that the stock price of Hutchison International was still around 10 Hong Kong dollars per share, which meant that it had not changed much. Zhong Chuhong, start recording. Yes, Mr. Yang. Zhong Chuhong began to sit there and record for Yang Ming like he did last night. Yang Ming said. Zhong Chuhong recorded. Yang Ming stopped, and Zhong Chuhong also stopped and looked. I was busy until about 11 o'clock in the evening. Yang Ming has read all the major stock markets in the world. Naturally, just like last night, the stock information was all in the notebook recorded by Zhong Chuhong. Yang Ming yawned himself, looked at Zhong Chuhong and asked, "Are you adaptable here?" "Young Master Yang, I'm fine here." Because this was completely different from the job she had imagined serving the rich, she also called her parents back in Chungking mansions to reassure them. When Zhong Chuhong's parents heard that this was the case, they still wondered whether Zhong Chuhong's two younger sisters could work in the Yang family. Looking at the situation now, even if Zhong Chuhong's two sisters stop studying, the Yang family will not recruit them again. "Azu, push me to the master room, I'm going to rest." "Master, Mrs. Yang has already prepared nutritional soup for you to drink." Li Yufang had already asked someone to make nutritious soup, hoping that her son could recover as soon as possible. If Yang Ming drinks too much of this nutritious soup, he will get hot and dry. Taibu's nutritious soup is really not suitable for drinking every day. Tell my mommy later that I've been drinking too much lately and my body is a little itchy, so I won't drink tonight. When Yang Ming returned to the master room to rest, he still didn't close his eyes, just thinking about something. When Li Yufang learned that her son stopped drinking, she could only let Azu and Zhong Chuhong drink the bowl of nutritious soup. Have a night's rest. The sunshine outside the window shines in, and Yang Ming is used to getting up early, please read it. Chapter 39 Keira comes to visit. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Today is Friday, as usual. Yang Ming first got up and basked in the sun in the yard. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Yang Ming accompanied Xiangjiang and his wife to have breakfast, and then took a car to the Empire Group in the Federal Building. When Yang Ming went to the chairman's office, in addition to distributing stock information around the world to those responsible, Yang Ming was sitting in the office, looking very relaxed. 9:30 am Xiangjiang time, the Hong Kong stock market officially begins. When Tesson's 5 subordinates started trading accounts, they entered the Hong Kong exchange and continued to buy Wharf and Hutchison International stocks. Just as Yang Ming saw in the newspapers last night, the stock price situation in Xiangjiang, Wharf's shares started to rise from 12 yuan a share. As trading ended in the Hong Kong stock market in the morning, Wharf's stock price had risen to 14 yuan per share. During this time, Imperial Group has been quietly buying. In one morning, I bought nearly 100 million shares, spending 1,300 million Hong Kong dollars. Hutchison International stock price is relatively stable, basically floating around 10 Hong Kong dollars, and it is easy to buy. Empire Group spent 1,100 million Hong Kong dollars to buy 110 million shares of Hutchison International. When Tesson and his subordinates came to report to Yang Ming about buying stocks, Yang Ming had heard clearly. Lunchtime in between, Yang Ming finished his lunch, continued to stay in the chairman's office in the afternoon. During this period, with Lin Shoji pushing a wheelchair, Yang Ming inspected the current situation of the office area. From the original 15 employees of the Empire Group, 125 new employees joined the second batch of employees on the recommendation of the first batch of 15 employees. Now they all work under the first batch of 15 employees. However, Yang Ming knew that he would make a simple adjustment before the Spring Festival. Yang Ming returned to his chairman's office. 13:00 p.m. The trading in the Xiangjiang stock market under the responsibility of Tesson ended, and today's profit once again exceeded 1,800 million Hong Kong dollars, which is considered a very high profit. Those 5 subordinates are still buying Wharf and Hutchison International stocks respectively. In the afternoon, there should not be that many Wharf and Hutchison International shares bought. Ends at 16:00 p.m. During the afternoon trading in the Hong Kong stock market, the average price of Wharf stocks was 14 yuan per share. In the afternoon, 68 shares were purchased, costing almost 1,000 million Hong Kong dollars. In other words, at the end of the day, the 168 million Wharf shares purchased cost 2,300 Hong Kong dollars million. Hutchison International bought 11 shares at an average price of 98 yuan per share in the afternoon, spending 1,078 Hong Kong dollars million. In addition, I spent 1,100 million Hong Kong dollars to buy 110 million shares in the morning, which means I bought 208 million Hutchison International shares today. Count yesterday and today. The 343 million shares of Wharf stock held by Yang Ming and the Imperial Group cost 4,400 million Hong Kong dollars. He held 403 million shares of Hutchison International stock at a cost of 4,178 Hong Kong dollars million. Based on all Wharf stocks, Yang Ming currently controls more than 4 million shares. Accounting for about % of Wharf stocks, the total number of shares in Wharf is now 8,501 million shares. Historically, Li Jiaqing secretly bought Wharf stocks, which once reached 18%, or more than 1,500 million shares. Now because of Yang Ming's intervention, it is impossible for Li Jiaqing to continue to secretly buy so many stocks. Yang Ming guessed that Li Jiaqing must have asked people to secretly raise funds. As for how much he bought, he didn't know yet. The total number of shares of Hutchison International exceeds 4 million shares. Now Yang Mingkai has secretly bought 400 million shares, which is about 1% of the shares, which is still very low. Yang Ming was not anxious at all. Because of the relationship with Huifeng Bank, Yang Ming first wanted to get as many Wharf shares as possible. As for Hutchison International, Yang Ming's current approach is defensive. 5:30 in the afternoon, Yang Ming did not stay. In Shenzhenhua, the 3 of them sent Yang Ming back to the Repulse Bay mid-level villa. When Yang Ming just got off the car, Lin Dezhong came over first and said, "Boss, a person who claims to be the account manager of Huifeng Securities Branch, Miss Keira, is here to see you." Miss Keira? Except for Monday, Yang Ming did not go to Huifeng Securities Company to see Keira after Tuesday. What time did Miss Keira arrive? An hour ago. Yang Ming went over in a wheelchair and saw Keira. Keira was wearing a yellow dress. As usual, when he saw Yang Ming, he walked over with a smile. Mr. Yang, you are really a busy man. Miss Keira, it's dinner time, let's go have dinner first. At the end of the day, I'm afraid Miss Keira will be hungry. When Yang Ming, Keira, Xiangjiang, and Li Yufang were sitting there having dinner, after a rich dinner, Keira found that Yang Ming's Chinese food was also very good. After dinner, the two took the elevator to the third floor. In the study room on the third floor, at this time, there were only Yang Ming and Keira. Azu and Zhong Chuhong were outside the door of the study. Mr. Yang, I heard that your Imperial Group has hired hundreds more people. Those are considered the second batch of employees of the Imperial Group, and they were all recommended by Lin Shoji's 15 people. Now the company is developing rapidly, and the manpower is becoming increasingly scarce. Keira was really surprised when she heard it. She really didn't expect that Yang Ming's Empire Group had only been established for less than half a month. It had 0 employees at the beginning and now has hundreds of employees. It should be the fastest growing company in the world. What surprised Keira the most was that Yang Ming no longer went to Huifeng Securities Company in person to buy and sell stocks. Judging from the current account of Imperial Group and Huifeng Bank, the daily income is getting higher and higher. What does this mean? This means that Yang Ming's profits in global stock markets are getting higher and higher, although many people around the world are now curious about who this so-called most mysterious short-term sniper is. Huifeng Company executives certainly know who it is. Looking at the young man in a wheelchair in front of her, Keira really wanted to leave Huifeng Securities Company immediately and join Yang Ming's Empire Group. Mr. Yang, I wonder if I still have a place in the Imperial Group? Keira asked. Of course, you're welcome to join us anytime. In Yang Ming's mind, the Imperial Group has already reserved a very important position for her. However, Yang Ming guessed that it was definitely not because of this incident that Keira came here now. Yang Ming competed in the Hong Kong stock market last week and made tens of millions of Hong Kong dollars each time, which has attracted the attention of Huifeng Bank executives. By this week, Yang Ming and Imperial Group were competing in the global stock market, making huge profits every day. The senior executive of Huifeng Bank seemed to be unable to wait any longer, because Keira and Yang Ming have been in contact. Keira was sent to meet Yang Ming first. Really? That's great. Keira looked at Yang Ming's beautiful eyes. A powerful man, and even beautiful women would admire him. Now Yang Ming, even in a wheelchair, is the person she admires most. Mr. Yang, I don't plan to join the Imperial Group just yet. I came here this time because of business at Huifeng Bank. Please read it. Chapter 40 Invitation to the Senior Class of Huifeng Bank. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Keira looked at Yang Ming. Yang Ming looked confused and asked, Miss Keira, do you know what's going on with Huifeng Bank? Mr. Yang, you opened an account at Huifeng Securities last week and made a lot of profits. Funds kept flowing into Huifeng Bank. From the beginning, you attracted the attention of many senior executives of Huifeng Bank, just because you are an important customer of our company. Except for us internally, there is no external news about your situation for the time being. This week, you and your Imperial Group have made more and more profits in the global stock market, and accumulated more and more funds in Huifeng Bank, which has attracted the attention of our chairman, Mr. Shen Bai. I am here to see you this time. I am here on behalf of the chairman, Mr. Shen Bai, and he hopes to meet you. Shen Yan. Yang Ming came to this world. The first celebrity I met was Zhong Chuhong. Zhong Chuhong was only famous in the Hong Kong film and television industry in the 1980s and 1990s. Shen Yi is different. This taipan from Huifeng Bank has completely changed the status of Hong Kong foreign banks and Chinese capital. It even established the position of 2 tycoons in Hong Kong in one fell swoop. One is Li Jiaqing. At this time, Li Jiaqing already owned Changchun Industrial and other companies in Xiangjiang, and he could be regarded as a wealthy Chinese in Xiangjiang. However, compared with his future status in Xiangjiang, or even in the Chinese circle, it was far behind. it was precisely because of the support from Shenbai and Huifeng Bank that Li Jiaqing was able to reborn, establishing Li Jiaqing's status as the richest man in Hong Kong in one fell swoop. Yang Ming didn't expect that Shenbai actually wanted to meet him. When Yang Ming won the grand prize in horse racing, he wanted to open a new account at Huifeng Bank and open an account at Huifeng Securities Company to trade stocks. This is nothing more than his layout. His initial target was Shenbai, the senior manager of Huifeng Bank. No matter how smart Keira is, she will never guess that Yang Ming has reached this point in his work. Taiban of Huifeng Bank? Yes, Mr. Yang. Mr. Shen officially served as the chairman of Huifeng Bank last year, which is what you Chinese commonly call Taipan, the top leader. Yang Ming was still a little happy in his heart, proving that everything he did was within his calculations. Yang Ming had made huge profits in the stock market, and now so much wealth was being transferred around in Huifeng Bank's account. It was impossible to say that Shenbai didn't care. Then why do you think he wants to see me? Mr. Yang, I don't know about this. Speaking of which, the chairman and I are not familiar with each other. Before this, Keira knew Shenbai, but Shenbai did not necessarily know Keira. Keira is just an account manager at a branch of a securities company. Huifeng Bank has too many ordinary middle and low-level managers like this. Where do you want to see me, Mr. Shenbai? Mr. Yang, the chairman originally wanted to ask you to play golf. Play golf? Yang Ming almost laughed when he heard this. He knew that the wealthy people in Xiangjiang, whether white or Chinese, were influenced by aristocratic sports like country Y and liked to play golf and talk business at the same time. At this point, it's almost the same as talking about business while drinking in China. It's just that they exchange drinking for playing golf. For the rich, playing golf is not only an elegant aristocratic sport, but also a way to exercise and sweat, because there are no other people around the golf ball, and conversations are more private. Now that Yang Ming is in a wheelchair, should he be pushed to play golf? Mr. Shen didn't know that you were in a wheelchair. Later, he learned that you were in a wheelchair and not suitable for playing golf, so he later proposed to watch the horse racing tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow is Saturday. Horse racing begins at 12:15 p.m. It is obvious that in addition to playing golf, these wealthy Hong Kong people also have a common hobby, which is watching horse races. As long as there is a game, I'm afraid I won't miss a game. Some rich people even have their own racehorses. They are not able to participate in horse racing like those knights. It is also very exciting to participate in the competition through their own racehorses. Shenbai originally wanted to ask Yang Ming to play golf, but he didn't expect that Yang Ming was in a wheelchair, so he asked Yang Ming to watch the horse racing, which was his second choice. Watching the horse race at Happy Valley? Mr. Yang, yes, if it is inconvenient. The chairman also said that he can come to see you in person at Repulse Bay Villa. Convenient. That it's not suitable to play golf now, but Yang Ming thinks it's okay to go to Happy Valley to watch horse racing. Last week, Yang Ming got his first pot of gold through Xiangjiang horse racing. He did not go to the racecourse at that time, but now he can go and see it. Mr. Yang, in that case, let's make an appointment at Happy Valley Racecourse at 12 noon tomorrow. See you then. The two of them finished talking about business. There's nothing more to it than personal matters. The two seemed thoughtful and smiled. When Keira pushed Yang Ming out of the study, Azu and Zhong Chuhong were outside the door. Azu, send Miss Keira off for me. Yes, master. Azu personally escorted Miss Keira down. Keira drove away from here in the MG car she just bought. Master, Miss Keira drove away. Yang Ming nodded, returned to the room. Tomorrow is Saturday, and Yang Ming originally wanted to take a good rest. Since I am going to meet with the senior class of Huifeng Bank tomorrow, of course I have to prepare. Shen Yan. Li Jiaqing. Bao Yugang. Yang Ming knew that as long as Shenbai was captured, it would have a great impact on Li Jiaqing and Bao Yugang. Especially for Li Jiaqing, it's hard to say whether he can still become that supermanly in the future. Thinking of this, Yang Ming was still a little excited. That night, Yang Ming took a bath with the help of Azu. While Yang Ming was taking a bath in the bathtub, Azu and Zhong Chuhong were standing outside the curtain of the bathtub. Azu, Zhong Chuhong, have you ever been to the racecourse to watch a race in person? Master, I just saw it on TV and in the newspaper. Young Master Yang, me too. Then I'll take you to see it tomorrow. When Yang Ming came out of the shower, back in the study, Azu and Zhong Chuhong brought all the newspapers. Yang Ming asked Zhong Chuhong to record the stock information until around 2300 hours in the evening. Yang Ming also yawned and said, "Call me again at 8:30 tomorrow." "Yes, young Master Yang." When the two girls went to rest, Yang Ming returned to the master room to rest. The next day, Yang Ming woke up, it was already past 6 o'clock, and he wanted to sleep until 8:30. Arrive at 8:30, there was a knock on Aju's door from outside. After Azu and Zhong Chuhong came in to help Yang Ming wash up and change clothes, I changed into a set of white pants and a fashionable jacket. When Yang Ming was pushed out of the master room by Aju, he took the elevator down to the restaurant on the first floor. Yang Jirong and Li Yufang are both at home. "Daddy, Mommy, have you had breakfast?" "Peter, waiting for you." When Yang Ming accompanied Yang Jirong and his wife to have breakfast, he said, "Daddy, Mommy, I'm going to Happy Valley to meet Mr. Shenbai, the senior manager of Huifeng Bank, at noon. I won't be back for lunch." Shenbai, the senior class member of Huifeng Bank. This is a big shot who is known as the god of wealth in Xiangjiang. In the past, Yang Jirong knew that even the richest people in Xiangjiang would find it difficult to meet each other. Unexpectedly, his son was going to meet Shenbai now. Please read it. Please read it. Please read it.